Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, NBA injuries and the LeBron effect, and so much more, starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fine edition of Debate Amongst Friends. This is Super Bowl week, everybody. I hope you're excited. I know I'm excited, but if you don't know who I am, by the sound of my voice, I am the Professor John Gotti, and I am the representative, dare say the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed podcast beast, Brock Lesnar. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Ready to debate, discuss, decipher, break the walls down. We already went over the Anthony Davis trade. Check out that on our
Trade rumors.
Yes,
let's
trade rumors.
Put it out there.
That's
Trade
right,
rumors.
Trade rumors. We had Anthony Davis trade rumors, which we did put out there. Our reaction to the Bleacher Report on YouTube. It's on our Facebook. Definitely go and check that out. Definitely let us know what you think, where you would like to see him go. If this is all ridiculous, did you laugh at the fact that the NBA charged him $50,000?
No, I did not.
I didn't laugh. I mean, there was a meme out there that said that LeBron paid it or something like that, which,
that by itself, if it's true, and it's not true.
It's not true, yeah. It's hilarious, though.
But it is something interesting, though. I was watching First Take with Stephen A. Smith, the blasphemous one, and he was talking about how LeBron has some of the blame for this situation, heating up to this level.
Well, we're going to get to that LeBron effect. But let's just get through these injuries so we can get to that. Because, again, Shadow, my brother, he brings a lot of speculation, but it's speculation that makes you think. So let's get through these injuries, and then we're going to jump right into that. But unfortunately, Derrick Jones Jr., who's actually been playing very well, he dunked all over my Rockets a couple of weeks ago, unfortunately had a major injury.
Yeah, that was really rough against my Knicks. He went down badly, trying to go up for a dunk, and his leg just pretty much just caved down, and
so it
was bad. It was bad.
So we're talking about he's out at least 6 weeks, with 2 bone bruises, but it sounds like it was pretty gruesome. It doesn't sound like it looked like a bone bruise in the beginning. It looked like something ridiculous.
And I'm happy that it's only a bone bruise, because that could have been so much worse.
Absolutely. So he's out for at least 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Victor Oladipo.
That one was probably worse than the first one we talked about. Now, when I saw this injury, because I didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I caught it because, everyone's going to record these things. Everyone's going to post it. ESPN is going to put it all over the place and plaster it everywhere. There's no viewer discretion is advised. It's your sleazy turn kind of thing.
Right.
They just played it.
Yes.
I had an immediate flashback of the doc.
Yes. Yes. Which mine wasn't that bad. I was able to walk out of there. Remember, I went and ordered my girlfriend a milkshake. We all got a laugh and tickle out of that. Yes. Hey, let's stop at Dairy Queen and get this Blizzard to make sure that,
are you sure? You're not even... What?
Yeah, because I didn't know how bad it was, but you're saying that this looked rough.
It looked... I had an immediate flashback to when everything just tore for you, man.
And
I felt so bad that day, and I felt really bad here.
Right. No, absolutely. And of course, Victor Oladipo, he sent out a huge thank you. But obviously he's out for quite some time. I think he might have had surgery.
Yep, he did surgery on Monday.
But there's no
he has
timetable.
a ruptured quad tendon in his right knee.
No timetable.
No, it's going to be at least 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, he's out for a good while.
He's out for the season. They already say he's out for the season.
But the good thing,
I mean, we wish him a quick recovery. Like that was rough.
The good thing is that and we've seen these injuries, and hopefully he's able to come back strong. I mean, we've seen not the same injury, but I mean, obviously we watched Paul George a couple of years ago hurt his. It looked like I think it was his. Was that his Achilles, or did he just break a leg or something? His ankle. I think it might have been his fibula.
Yeah, it was a broken fibula.
And I know we saw Alex Smith go down to a similar injury, which I think Alex Smith is set to miss 2019 as well. So yes, we definitely wish him a speedy recovery. Hopefully he's able to come back and get back to the level of basketball that we've grown accustomed to seeing him play. But we definitely wish best of luck to those particular players, as well as all the rest of the players that are injured at this particular time.
And then that LBJ guy is out for his 16th game.
Which I saw him working out, so he seems like he's getting close. But we can jump right into the LeBron James effect, and we can start with this injury. I mean, what do you think, fair or foul, that LeBron's playing chess right now and not checkers?
Oh, he's playing chess. That there is no trying to dispute that at all. Like, he's trying to put the team in a position where they're either going to A, get AD now, or B, fire the coach, or C, do both.
So he's
going to win at the end of the day. This is the effect, ladies and gentlemen, of having LeBron James on your roster. This has been this way since 2009.
So here's the interesting part. So right now, the Lakers. All right, and I asked you that. Let me go back before I say that. So I asked you that. They're not in bad shape. They're 26 and 25. They're not doing.
They're ninth in the West, which is still really, really tight.
Yeah, it's tight. They're not terrible. So I say that because, LeBron, he does things intentionally.
Of course.
He was on the Cavs. They traded for Clarkson and all these guys from the Lakers to clear the cap specifically so that he can go there. Right?
Yep.
So my brother Shadow, shout out to Shadow 429.
Shadow, he needs to come on to this.
I told him he's gonna have to make at least an audio tape one day, at least so we can get him on here. But I think what he said earlier, and it didn't make sense until he said it. And I think he might have heard somebody else say it, but it was good to get the feedback and the information. He's saying that of course, it's not a coincidence that LeBron and AD have the same agent, of course.
Yep.
And then he said, it's crazy to think about this, but he said, think about it like this. What did the Lakers gain really from signing Rondo? Nothing at all. But what they did do was take him away from the Pelicans.
Yep.
To make them kind of decline.
Yeah.
And I think they signed Rondo for 1 year. I mean, $9-10 million.
They signed Rondo for 1 year. They got Michael Beasley for 1 year. They have JaVale McGee for 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking one of their key pieces away just to make them not good, and you go back and be like,
you know what the worst part is? He did the same thing in Cleveland.
Yeah, same exact thing.
He did the same thing in Cleveland.
Same exact thing.
It's not new.
Exact thing. And so to me,
it's the same game, but no one's thinking on that third level or even that second level to start realizing these things.
So ultimately, LeBron says, man, that team is just not good. Even though they beat a Rockets team who's a little banged up yesterday, Like I said on Facebook earlier, inconsistencies.
I wasn't gonna say a thing
No,
about that. I was
I
gonna
can
let you
say
out
it.
that one.
I can say it. It's all right. I mean, my team's not the greatest right now. Of course, I'm hoping for an AD trade, but that's neither here nor there. But now it's like, oh, the Lakers are gonna get, AD, KD, Kawhi, and Klay Thompson all at the same time somehow, and it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And so my thing is the LeBron effect. We're looking at coaches being fired, players being moved manipulatively.
Yep.
I mean, it's really crazy.
I mean, I've been on this whole thing for the past few years. I'm just glad that people are finally starting to see what I saw back then.
But I don't think you notice it when you're in it because you're not, again, chess. You don't see it because it's 2 or 3 moves ahead.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I know.
And I read an article on Bleacher Report because Bleacher Report is really entertaining. I mean, even though a lot of the things that they post are ridiculous.
You mean like those potential trade ideas for AD?
It's
where, most of these teams are giving up 2 number 1 draft picks plus like 3 or 4 players?
I mean, again, that's all speculation. But when you think about it, and I think they released an article stating that
I was with Jersey there. I was going to say, what?
Yeah, speculation. So I think it's one of those situations where I think they said, Magic Johnson really kind of blew it because they got rid of a lot of quality players. And you had you look around, Brook Lopez they had, which they could have probably brought him back, instead of bringing in JaVale McGee. I think Brook Lopez could have been offensively, definitely better than JaVale McGee, but of course defensively.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you still bring in Tyson Chandler, you got Zubac, you got all these players,
Brook Lopez is doing work out there in, Milwaukee.
Right, which is why I keep saying you put AD out there and you have something huge.
I agree.
So to me, I just look at it and I say, what's going to happen when LeBron retires? And I think that's the thing that Anthony Davis has to think of. LeBron has missed 16 games this year. He's 25. AD is 25.
Okay, so I'm going to sidebar real quickly.
Sure.
Tell me your thoughts with this, because I heard Jalen Rose say this, and I like Jalen. Fab 5, 5 lefty, he's my boy. I'll shake his hand.
Yes.
He said LeBron James should still be in the conversation for MVP of the league.
See, I heard that, I thought it was the opposite. I thought they were saying that because he missed so many games, he was taking himself out.
There are people out there saying that because he missed 16 games and they're 5 and 11. Yeah, 5 and 11. That he should still be in consideration for MVP because now they're really emphasized on the valuable part of MVP.
No. That's terrible. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. That's blasphemous. and my brother said earlier, he said there's no way you can skip what James Harden is doing. And, I said, there's no way to really skip what even Giannis and Paul George are doing.
Giannis is doing it, and I would say that, Giannis, Harden, and Paul George are the 3 front runners for me.
Absolutely. So, to me, it's one of them situations that I think they need to settle down. Jalen needs to settle down. Anybody else who believes that should settle down.
You just need to stop it. Now, according to basketballreference.com, make sure you check out basketballreference.com for your statistical needs, and also check out their social medias as well, too, at Basketball Reference.
Of course.
Giannis is number 1 in percentage for probability for winning the MVP. After that is James Harden. Paul George is number 9.
Who's number 3?
Anthony Davis.
Who, now that he's hurt we'll throw air quotations up there, and he's looking for a trade. He might not want to play for the Pelicans anymore.
But I'm saying this because nowhere on this top 10 list is LeBron James.
Which naturally he shouldn't be. Who's number 4?
So I'll go through all the top 10.
Just go
so
top
number
5.
1 is
Just
Giannis.
go top 5.
Number 2 is James Harden. Number 3 is Anthony Davis. Number 4 is Steph Curry. And number 5 is Nikola Jokic.
Jokic is playing pretty good.
He's playing very good, even though he got suspended for a game. And, in fact, that's one of my final thoughts about his suspension and how it was bullishly how he got suspended for just stepping on the floor during the skirmish.
And Jokic is the one that I posted the other week where he was floating with the girl. And that's hilarious. That gets my vote. But yeah, I mean, Steph is playing great. I don't think Steph's gonna win it though. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna give it to James. I don't think they like to give it to back-to-back. I don't really think they like to award people back-to-back MVPs because you recognize that.
I already said it before. Like, and you know, if Westbrook could win it for averaging, you know, a triple-double, and I believe there was a 6th seed, just like Q-Mart ended up predicting. Like, he did the same thing again the next year.
Right.
And no one wanted to talk about that.
Facts.
So, like, what? Does the term MVP mean something to people differently every single year? Or is there a consistent process? And we've asked this even last 2 years ago when Westbrook did win it. Like, how do you determine the MVP? Is it based off of just stats? Is it based off of impact? Is it based off defensive prowess? Like, how do you determine who should win this award? Because we keep hearing different stories for each year.
Right.
Because we had a year where someone won the MVP, and it was because they was also the scoring champion too.
Well, like I said, I think what James Harden is doing is different from what he did last year. You know, what Giannis does. You know, I think to me, Russell, and I think the first year, again, stat padding. Second year, he's stat padding. We're not giving it to him. You know what I mean? So it was almost like the first year they were like, all right, you know, it's amazing. Second year, we can actually see him stat padding. I need his bigs to get rebounds.
First year they're like, oh well, you know, he's doing the same thing Oscar Robertson did, so it was based off of like, well, he's doing it based off of an NBA legend, so let's give him the MVP for an award, even though he was stat padding.
Right.
And anyone who says that he was stat padding was like, oh, you're just a Westbrook hater.
Hater.
Like, you probably don't even like him.
You don't like him at all. That's right.
And then the very next year, those same people who was arguing with us about Westbrook not stat padding is saying that he's stat padding.
And a lot of people that now are saying that about Harden. I mean, James Harden gets a lot of hate. And my thing is with James Harden is that, you know, he's a student of the game.
Yeah.
He loves the game. He's studied each role. And that is a Mamba mentality. I mean, you have to study the game. This is your craft. So if you know that your hand placement of the ball allows you to take 1 or 2 steps this way, 1 or 2 steps that way, you know the complete rule of traveling better than everybody else.
Minus that one from Utah, because that's the only thing that people are going to talk about.
Right, but he does it so much that of course you're going to miss it that one time that he actually does travel. But then there was that time where Kevin Durant was out of bounds and the refs didn't, you know, like, come on now. So I think the LeBron effect, going back to it, I think if Anthony Davis goes to LA, which I hope the league vetoes, and we bring that vetoing back, it'll change. It'll make the NBA.
You have to like it's that team.
It'll make the NBA soft. Like, I think the Warriors have already kind of made the NBA kind of soft because, I mean, their starting 5 is pretty ridiculous. But once
again, you blame the LeBron effect for that.
That's true.
It would have never gotten to that point had he not did what he did.
It's true. If had the Heatles not come together, I don't think if the Heatles don't come together, I don't think any other teams realize that they can do that. You can't do it.
Exactly.
Now
because when the Heatles first formed, the league response to that was to try to raise up the luxury tax and prevent teams from doing that. But then that allowed those owners to create the Supermax contract, and that only made it worse.
And I mean, you can
And
think.
then it got to the point to where a free agent, the top 3 in the league of Kevin Durant, he's like, well, yeah, they can offer you all this money to stay. I don't want to do that. I'm going to be in the same scenario for like the next 5 years. I don't want that. I'm in my prime right now.
Right.
I'll go play with these guys.
Yeah.
And now everyone's hating that, but no one's not understanding where it began. The genesis of it all started with the Heatles.
That's why I'd be interested to know, like, hey, like, maybe, you know, AD and KD are like, hey, you know, we should pair up somewhere next year. You know what I mean? Like, you just wow, which would be interesting. Because,
I mean,
think about it like this.
They'll have the cap.
Think
if
about
they
it like
get
this.
rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee's contract, they'll have the cap.
How crazy would it be? And you just let me know if the Knicks are able to. Of course, you would probably have to get rid of Enes Kanter's contract too. But if the Knicks are able to unload those contracts, they're able to get AD, they're able to get Kevin Durant, they re-sign Kristaps Porzingis, they draft R.J. Barrett.
Yep.
And potentially, you know, if Trey Jones falls somehow, I mean, you can get a Trey Jones or one of these point guards in the draft. I mean, you really have a gazillion point guards anyway, so you can keep one of those guys. But I mean, that would be insane. I mean, I don't know how likely it is, but it would be insane.
It's pretty likely. These are some of the theories that I was thinking of, which is why when I said I didn't want Zion,
right?
That's why.
Or even if you were to get a Klay Thompson and Anthony Davis.
He's going to cost too much though. That's going to be too much money.
I think he's going to be the same as Kevin Durant.
I think he's going to try to want more.
I don't feel like Klay is going to want.
Klay honestly did not get paid yet.
I think he got the first deal, maybe slightly less. The first deal
slightly less
than Steph Curry got.
Because Steph was next.
Right.
And Draymond, his free agency is starting soon too. So he also wants to get paid. So they're trying to get paid.
Well, no, Draymond just got paid last year. Yeah, Draymond got paid last year because remember, Draymond got paid and then he got in trouble at the bar or something in Michigan. Draymond got paid. I mean, right now Klay makes about $18 million.
Draymond is going to the last year of his contract next year.
After next year, yeah. So he just signed that contract last year.
Yeah.
So he should be he's making 18. So most of these guys are making about 18 million. He's a free.
Draymond got his contract in 2015.
So let me see. It says his contract ends from what I can see in 2020 is when he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
Correct.
So it's not next year. It's the following year. I guess 2020.
Yeah, the summer of 2020 is his free agency.
So 19 is Klay Thompson's free agency, which I mean ultimately they're paying Klay 17 now. You know, Klay can go out and basically he can get him.
Well, and Draymond signed a 5-year contract for $82 million.
Right.
Versus Steph's 5-year, $201 million.
Which, I mean, it's Steph. I mean, Steph is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's time for Klay to get paid.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Can we just, and we're going back to the LeBron effect for a second, like, can we talk about how literally everyone is only giving all these free agents, you know, their only option or their best option is to go join LeBron James in LA? Like, can we talk about how asinine that is, please?
I mean, I hate it because it takes away from, of course, my team, your team. I really think that I'm really looking forward to the building of the small market. I mean, eventually there's going to have to be a guy, a la a Kawhi Leonard, who says, you know what? I'm going to sign an extension with the Raptors.
Yep.
And if anybody wants to come and play with me, I'll be in Toronto at a Maple Leafs game with Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, that's what it's going to come down to. Guys saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to stay right here." Tim Duncan, I'm gonna take a pay cut so that my team has the flexibility to bring somebody else in.
Yep.
Kobe, hey, this is my team, this is my city. I'm gonna run with it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
and Ernest Cantor salary is going to be off our books this summer.
this summer,
Yep.
so I mean, and that's gonna open up some space. That's gonna
Yep.
open up some major
That's
space.
18 mil off the books. Tim Hardaway Jr. after this year only has 2 more years, and Courtney Lee will be on his last year, heading into the 2019-2020 season.
I think trading Hardaway Jr. again is
It's their best option.
is imminent. Yeah, I think even in the game, I think I traded him myself actually. But I think the LeBron effect does, it has its things, and I feel bad for Luke Walton because, clearly he's a good coach, but after you get to LeBron, you all of a sudden you can't coach. Nobody wants to listen to you, and that's it. But
It's hard to. It's hard to.
But I don't know.
But we've been saying this and talking about this for the past 3 years. Even when we put it out there on social media, people just think that we're LeBron haters until they start seeing it for themselves, especially those Lakers fans. Because I had an interesting conversation with the Duke about the whole, trading speculation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I talked to you about it as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, oh, yeah, so, in fact, we talked about this
Mm-hmm.
during the recording. If the Pelicans and the Lakers actually make this deal go, and it's exactly the type of deal that we read in that pissant article, the Lakers aren't going anywhere. They lost it to score.
They weren't going, yeah. Nowhere.
Number 2, top assist person, with a Rondo, what are they going to do?
I get it. And I mean, and the trades don't get any.
Lakers fans, unfortunately, some of them, because there's a couple of smart ones out there who understand, like they're on top of this.
Mm-hmm.
But Lakers fans out there that are eerily reminding me of those Cowboys fans.
But that's the thing; they're not Lakers. A lot of them aren't Laker fans. A lot of them are just LeBron James fans.
Yeah.
And that's tough. I mean, CBS Sports doesn't make it any better, though. I will say this. CBS Sports doesn't make the trades any better. I mean, they're a little bit more realistic. For example, let's say if the Lakers do trade for Anthony Davis, they're only giving up Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, KCP, and a 2020 first-round pick. I know you're going to hate this one, but if the Knicks trade for Anthony Davis, they give up Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr., and their 2019 first-round pick. Which,
like, you see what I mean?
That's highway robbery right there.
LeBron James, everyone.
Yeah. If the Trailblazers make the trade, they're talking about C.J. McCollum, Al-Farouq Aminu, and their 2019 first-round pick.
Yep.
You have the Wizards trading John Wall, Markieff Morris, and their 29 first-round pick. And based on this list, the Rockets would give up not only Clint Capella, but also Eric.
Any trade with KCP from the Lakers, he has to approve it.
Right. And the Rockets would give up Clint Capella and Eric Gordon, as well as our 2019 first-round pick, which, when I heard the news of us I heard even the speculation or even the audacity to say, hey, we're going to trade Clint Capella for anyone. I hate it because I really think that Clint Capella is a type of building block that defensively he's the only guy that we have. Throw P.J. Tucker in there. Throw all these guys in here, but I don't know if the Pelicans want Eric Gordon back. But they might. I can't even say that. They might. But the LeBron effect is real.
Maybe.
The LeBron effect is real, though, and I think that's something that I think we might have to have a separate show about one day where we just go back to the overall history and look through his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
and then basically
And you
go
would
from
be
there.
surprised. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, we might have to go back and look through everything.
Like, because I feel like someone just went into the ESPN trade machine
Oh yeah.
and just started clicking on things. And they're like, oh, well, that doesn't work. Let's just add first-round draft picks. Yep, there we go. That'll work. Okay, let's just put that out there.
I hate that because it's not realistic, and I don't blame the GM for not even picking up his phone.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I would think it through.
What's the phrase? You must not be intimidated by criminal threats.
That's right. That's right. But I think, unless you have anything else, I think we're pretty close to endgame.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at endgame. Every single week, the Doc and I provide last thoughts for you for your week, for your daily lives as well, too. And as always, we're going to start off with the Doc. Doc, what you got for the people?
So, just looking through my phone here, I did see earlier that, Michigan head coach Mr. Harbaugh himself is apparently on the hot seat. Which I thought he would have been on the hot seat last year. I know there were a lot of NFL teams that were saying, hey, we might want Jim to come in and coach our team, but I didn't think he would leave Michigan. But he could be on the hot seat, and I'm hoping that he can turn Michigan around because procedurally they are a pretty solid team, and we're gonna see what happens. As we're talking here, I just got a ticker here on my Bleacher Report here that the New Orleans Pelicans have taken the petty route and removed Anthony Davis out of their introduction video already. So apparently they're looking to send a statement there in which Anthony Davis, one of the reasons why he's requesting a trade, for people who don't know, is that he feels as though the ownership, who the owners of the Pelicans also own the Saints. He believes that they love the Saints more than they love the Pelicans, which, based on the products, you can kind of agree.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, you can agree. But we'll see what happens. So my last two final thoughts here. Looks like Lincoln Riley got an extension with Oklahoma up until 2024, which he definitely deserves. He's a great coach. And I know a lot of NFL teams have been trying to pry him away as well. And lastly, Melvin Gordon is waiting for Le'Veon Bell to sign his new contract before he starts his new deal, just so he can see what the market is.
Which makes the most sense in the world, and I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
I don't blame him whatsoever. At all.
Yes.
So, are you finished, sir? I'm going to start him.
I'm done.
All right, thank you very much, Doc Lesnar, the master of the B-Dorm, the maestro of the power bomb, and the guy who could drop the biggest leg drop you have ever seen. So my first final thought was actually we talked about the injury that happened to the Heat player at MSG, but something else happened as well, too. Carmelo Anthony was in the house during that game. Carmelo Anthony, who is kind of still on the roster for the Rockets, but not really playing.
Oh, no. He went to the Bulls.
Oh, yeah.
He's from the Bulls.
He is with the Bulls. Well, he was there for the Knicks-Heat game. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
And he got a standing ovation when the cameras panned on him. And I'm only talking about this because, and you heard me say it after the incident happened, I thought it was completely bush league by Knicks fans to sit there and chant out, please trade Melo, at him while he was on the free throw line. And, afterwards, he hit, a big shot and everyone started cheering for him. He's like, no, don't cheer for me now. No. And I'm like, you're 100% right, Melo. No, they don't deserve you anymore. I totally agree with you. That was petty.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I hate about sports. If you're going to be a true fan, be a true fan, but don't sit there and try to contradict yourself and make the rest of the fan base look terrible. We talk about that like even with your Rockets at some point.
Mm-hmm. Which I really thought we should have gave him more of a chance and really defined his role. Defined it a little better. Because obviously Kenneth Faried could come in and play that Capella role very, very easily.
Yeah.
We didn't find that role for Carmelo, and I think that's where the issue left.
Well, and I just had an issue with like, let's try to welcome them back. Like Knicks fans, this is a true diehard Knicks fan since '86. Like, don't turn it to the Cavaliers fan base, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, if you're gonna act one way for a player, act that way for that player. Don't sit there and try to give him that petty. Oh, so glad. Oh my gosh. Oh, Melo. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I still wish that he. I sorry, I had a funny message that just came in.
Hilarious.
I wish he would have just been like, forget all y'all, like act like that, I wasn't useful to you anymore, and y'all just ready to cast me aside. Like, no. But that's just my opinion about it. Like, I feel passionate about it. Like, I enjoyed watching Melo's game, especially when he was repping the Knicks colors.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way that they treated him towards the end, I didn't like it one bit. Also, in other news, speaking of the Knicks once again, Kevin Knox got snubbed for the Rising Star game. Yeah.
Did he? I thought I saw his name on there. Wow.
Nope.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought I saw his name, but that game.
And that's despite the fact that he won the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for December. Lonzo Ball was part of the selection.
Yeah.
So he might get replaced. I don't know if they made that announcement or not.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, like the three rookies on the U.S. because it's USA versus the world now for the Rising Star Challenge. It's Trae Young, at least this is for the U.S. people born in the U.S. Trae Young, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Marvin Bagley III.
It should be interesting. I might actually check it out this year. Usually I skip it.
Maybe it was because he hit a wall. He was shooting about 24% for a good stretch of games, but I maybe he'll get put on there. But I still feel like he's having a pretty good rookie season. Like, of course, he's not Rookie of the Year, but like for what he was doing, based on what the Knicks are doing, like he don't stop him. Stop it.
I feel you.
There was a rumor talking about CBS broadcaster Tony Romo potentially putting on the headset,
which he should,
and becoming coach in the National Football League.
Absolutely.
He actually said, we're going to hold off for that for now. Like, this is just rumors right now. Like, I'm having fun broadcasting. He said, and I quote, "I'm sure one day I'll coach, but right now I'm happy where I'm at."
Yeah, he looks like he's having a whole bunch of fun, but I think, I would definitely would be
terrible to say that he's the best reason to watch a CBS football game now?
That would be facts, just to see how crazy he is.
Like, I was just trying to make sure, like, I'm just not grasping out the dark right there. Because, even NFL YouTube channel put up a compilation of his many reads, and it just shows how much he learned as being a student of the game. And someone came up with the hot take of saying, and it might have been you, it might have been the Duke, that said that the Dallas Cowboys ruined his career based on what he can do as a commentator and call out these plays before it happens.
I feel like
the Cowboys ruined his potential to be a great quarterback.
I don't think it was me. I want to say it was because I did hear that, and I feel like I had this conversation recently with Il McKenzie over there at Quarantine. He actually said that over the weekend, which is interesting. But I have to agree. I think, again, Wade Phillips, Dallas Cowboys, I just feel like they didn't have what they needed to really make a push. I mean, obviously you can see now they gave up on Dez. You know, they gave up on T.O. You know what I mean? Like it's Tony could have went somewhere else and played and been very successful. I think if Tony goes to Denver, if Tony would have went to Denver and not retired, Denver would have been much better.
I feel like Denver would have been a Super Bowl contender if he went there.
Yes, absolutely.
He would have been a Super Bowl contender.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing, and this is one I need to send out to Duke and Duchess of Duke It Out. Make sure you check out their content as well, too. They'll be coming back soon.
Can't wait.
Was talking about history being made this Sunday for the Super Bowl. We'll have the first male cheerleaders working Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. Cheerleaders Quentin Perrin and Napoleon Jennings will be cheerleading for the Los Angeles Rams.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I know the Duchess. I know she's big on those kind of things.
So that's my last final thought. I just wanted to put that out there in case people don't know about these things. And in fact, we're going to put that out there on our social media as well, too. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com. Follow the Facebook group as well, too, facebook.com/group/DebateAmongstBruh. Follow us on Twitter at DebateAmongstBruh. And follow our other social medias at DebateAmongstBruh. And that's including our Pinterest, our Instagram. Shout out to our Periscope crew out there as well, too. And any and all social media websites. You can also listen to us offline on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, FM Radio, any and all, Player FM Radio, any and all podcast listening devices, or your Android, iOS devices. You can follow myself at Ken86 on Twitter, at Professor John Gotti on Instagram. You can follow that podcasting beast over there at TL Double on both Facebook and on Instagram. And we'll definitely provide for you our reactions to the Super Bowl, offer our analysis as well, too. Anything else that comes along. And like we always say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Catch us every single Wednesday evening right here on YouTube and on all of our other social media platforms. I am the Professor John Gotti.
And this is Dr. Wednesday Night himself, the podcast beast.
And as we always say at the end of the night, goodbye, mwah, and to all, a good night.
Face the ocean. And we're clear.